Hello and welcome to my first book haul. I don't usually, even before, I don't usually get books in like bulk very often. I'll get like 2 or 3 books here or there kind of a thing, or new releases as they come out. That's usually like the most that I get at one time is if there's like 4 or 5 books that come out on the same day that I have pre-ordered. All of those will come in at the same time. But I have a lot of books here from either Christmas gift cards that were Christmas gifts, and then I also have some mass market historicals that I have because thrift books leading up to like the Christmas and holiday shopping had a bunch of like, buy this, get extra points, buy this much, get extra points, buy, spend this much, get this many free books kind of a thing. And then a lot of those expired like December 31st. So I got a bunch of free books from thrift books as well. And so I was able to kind of get a bunch of mass markets. I'm still waiting on a couple more to come in that took a bit to get shipped. But I figured I'd go ahead and film what I have here. Like I said, most of this came from gift cards that I got for Christmas. So I got a lot of indie books that have been on my wish list for a while, but I usually don't buy them as they come out unless it's someone super special that I always pre-order. But first off, we'll start with some books that I've already shown off in vlogs or were new releases that you've probably seen around. So we'll start there and then we'll just kind of go on through. So one of my vlogs, I got this, which is Get Stitches, Juliet Cross, 3rd book in the Stay a Spell series. I actually already own this, but I ordered a signed edition from Juliet, so that came. So I have that. I'm going to try to organize these because my bookshelf behind me is historical on the top 3 and then the top of my bookshelf, and then the bottom 2 are fantasy and paranormal and sci-fi. So I'm going to try to organize these as we go through them here. Okay, and then a couple others I've shown. So Jill Shalvis, The Family You Make. This came out earlier this month. I want to say January 12th. This is the first book in her Sunrise Cove series, and it's a new series that I believe is supposed to be romance and not women's fiction. But I'm super excited to get to this, hopefully sometime soon. And then also, let's see, I'm going to put contemporary over there. And then I also showed this before, In Every Generation by Kendare Blake. This is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer world set book where Willow's daughter, Frankie, is the new Slayer. I haven't really looked too much into this yet. I probably will a little bit before I read it, just so I have an idea going in. I'm guessing this will be new adult or young adult aged, and probably not romantic, although there was romance elements to Buffy. But I definitely want to read this soon, but I just had to get it because it's absolutely gorgeous. But I like ranted about this in Buffy in one of my vlogs. Might have been my first vlog. And then 2 other new releases from the end of the month in December are both historical romances. These both came out December 28th, I think was the release date. So Scoundrel of Her Own, Stacey Reed. This is the 3rd book in her Sinful Wallflower series. I've got 1 and 2 right here. Although it's the new size, so that's annoying. So I'll have to put it, I have all like the newer size up here in the corner because they don't fit. Drives me insane. And then I also pre-ordered The Rebel and the Rake by Emily Sullivan. And can we just, like, this is fine. Like, I don't like the lettering and the font chosen here, but I don't know. This cover is a lot better than this cover. However, a lot of these styles of covers stop at like the shoulders or the neck. And so at least here you get a little bit of a clinch. So this is better than the other ones that are in this style, but I still prefer this. I mean, this is just absolutely gorgeous. The blue is, I'm feeling it. I can't wait. I can't wait to read it. Okay, historicals. So those are all like my new releases. I have a couple others that have a new release mixed into them, but I got like a few books in a series. So we'll go from there. Let's just jump into, I'll save my historicals for last. So we'll jump into my traditional or my indie kind of things. We'll start with contemporary. I got How Sweet It Is as a gift by Dylan Newton. This says it's the Queen of Romance falls for the King of Horror. It says that she's an event planner for the perfect happily ever after moment for her client's dreams wedding. So I don't know if she's just like a reception planner or like if she does just like the second half of weddings or something like that. But it sounds like she gets roped into planning a best-selling horror writer's book launch extravaganza. So it's super fun. I looked it up and I saw that it's not a part of a series, but I saw that Dylan Newton has another book coming out this year. It's got like hot air balloons on it. And I think it's supposed to be about characters that are in this book, but I don't see that they're technically part of a series. But I'm super intrigued by this. I don't really read contemporary too much. But some of the traditionally published contemporaries actually worked for me this past year. So I'm intrigued by this one. I like the idea of him being a horror writer. So that should be fun. And then I also finally found... Okay, I'm back. I don't know what just happened. Things around me started falling apart. So I will pick back up where we left off. If I've slightly changed or moved positions, I'm sorry, but I had to reset everything back up. I have things precariously perched around me here. So we are in my like contemporary ones. So I found a good used copy of Fiancé by Fate by Jennifer Shirk. This is the first book in her Anyone But You series. It's a trilogy. And I found this trilogy by books 2 and 3. And the third one is my favorite trope, which is wrong sibling. And that one's a wrong brother. I think she runs a matchmaking thing. And she gets paired with some guy. And like per all her tests, they're perfect. But when she goes to meet his family, she ends up like it's too perfect and they're both too willing to like step aside for the other, and she ends up hitting it off with his brother. If I remember correctly, I think these are clean or very low steam, but they're fairly short. But I really enjoyed them. I don't remember much about the first book, but I remember liking the second book and I remember liking the third book. The second book is the same matchmaking company, and she ends up getting paired with, I think, the matchmaker's brother or cousin, or somehow they were related, I think. And she has to go to a wedding, and so she gets matchmaked for a fake date to this wedding. I think it's her sister's wedding. And he actually ends up being someone that she knew in like high school or something like that. But yeah, they were both super cute, but I finally have the full trilogy now, so that's exciting. Throw that one over there. And then, let's see, I also got Off the Record by Shel Sloan. This is the first book in her Nashville Fury series. This is a new to me author last year. I found this thanks to Shelby Taggart Reads. It's a romance between a head coach and a sports reporter. And I loved it. It was so good. I haven't read the second one yet because the tropes aren't as much my speed, but I definitely want to read the second one. And I love the cover, and like it's got like the football planning in the background. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It was a really unique, like, I know Coach and Reporters has kind of been done before for sports romances, but I really liked the way it was done here. It felt fresh and unique when I read it last year. Okay, and then I also had to get Savage Hearts Book 3 in Queens and Monsters, J.T. Geisinger. I haven't read it yet. I need to read it. I saw Jen post something about there might be the next round of the Mafia Romance Readathon soon. So I might pick that up during then, but I have the first two. I love the first one. Ruthless Creatures gave it 5 stars. Gave Carnal Urges 4 stars. There were some things in that one that I wasn't as fond of. Especially the end. Well, not really the end, but like the conflict stuff at the end. I didn't know where it was going, and I don't know if I'm okay with where it went. But anyway, I'm excited for this one because we get back to the Bratva. So I'm super excited. I need to read it. So there's that one. And then I also found a good used copy of Meant to Be by Terry Osborne. This is the first book in her Anchor Island novel. And this book kicked off a contemporary binge for me last year. She was a new to me author, and I picked this book up because it's my favorite trope. Same kind of thing. She went to school to be a lawyer, and then she kind of got stuck being a researcher for a law firm. And she goes back to Anchor Island and to meet his family, and he gets, typical lawyery things. He gets stuck at work. We'll join her later. She's freaking out on the ferry as she's crossing, and some random guy and his dog shows up, helps distract her, calm her down, ends up being her potential future brother-in-law, and they just click, and he sees that she's more just letting life happen to her instead of her living her life kind of a thing. And he pushes her to really think about what it is she actually wants and not what those around her want for her kind of a thing. And I really loved it. It's not very steamy because she is still engaged to his brother for a big portion of the book, but that's mostly because he doesn't show up at all. And then he shows up and leaves, and then he comes back. And so he's like, I don't know. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It's harder, I feel like, to make my favorite trope work in contemporaries, but I really enjoyed it. And the second book I also read in the series is the ex-fiance's book. And so I really liked that we immediately got to see his HEA, and that one was steamier too, because we didn't have the weirdness of the trope. Okay, and then I got Rushing In. This is book 4 in the Bailey's Brothers by Claire Kingsley. And then I also got Chasing Her Fire by Claire Kingsley. So book 4 and book 5 of the Bailey's Brothers. I already bought book 3 because I absolutely loved it and immediately bought it. And I love these covers. I love, because we get the, shirtless guys on a lot of covers, but I absolutely love the backgrounds in them. I don't know. They just, this one has the fire truck in the background and the road. I don't know. I just love that it's not, I love some of the pretty ones with the shirtless dudes on the front with just, a solid, white background or something. But I just feel like so much more depth is given. I love Gavin's cover. His is one of my favorite because we get the mountains and the water and the trees, and these are gorgeous. So I don't have the first 2 books yet, but I wanted to collect at least these 2 because I loved them. And I didn't like the first 2 books as much because they were a little more on the inksier end than I prefer, but I definitely want them. And I definitely need to collect the Miles family as well. But I'm excited I at least have these. And she did send in our newsletter recently that she finished her first draft of book 6, which is Levi's book. So I can't wait. Okay, so there are those. I have one more contemporary series, but I'm going to wait to do that one in a second because it's in my last stack over here. And then I got the last Honey Badger book I needed by Shelley Lawrenston. So this is Badger to the Bone. I believe this is book 3. Yeah, this is book 3. I love Shelley Lawrenston. I haven't read the Honey Badger Chronicles, but I've read pretty much every other series by her. I actually came to her because her other pseudonym is J.A. Aiken, and I read the Dragonkin series. it's one of my favorite fantasy series. Dragon Shifters. It's got like a historical vibe. Oh, it's so good. And I need to read the spin-off series from that, the Scarred Earth Saga. But then I went through and then I found out, oh, she also writes as Shelley Lawrenston in Paranormal. And so I need to read the Honey Badger Chronicles. I believe this is a spin-off of her Pride series, because there is a Honey Badger character in the Pride series, which I love the Pride series too. But I haven't read these yet. And I need to. Okay, and then we've got fantasy. So I recently read The Undying King at the end of 2021, and I saw that it has a paperback version. This is a novella. It's so good. I keep telling people about it, but the best way to describe it is the heroine is like Rogue from X-Men. She has a curse on her where she can't touch people. And if she does, she like sucks their life and she kills them. But she doesn't like get any life force from it, I don't think. She just kills them if she touches them. But I love the artwork that Grace Draven has. And the back has like a close-up of his face. And he is a king that drank like from the fountain of youth kind of a thing. He's immortal. And so when her adoptive mother dies, she sends her to the Undying King to see because if anybody can help her lose this curse or break the curse kind of a thing, he's her best option. And I loved it. I loved it so much. And I was really excited to see that there is a paperback copy of it. Okay, more fantasy. So I was also able to finally finish collecting Jennifer Blackstream's Blood Prince and then Expanded Universe Blood Realm series. I've only read the Blood Prince series, and these are fantasy, paranormal, fairy tale retellings. So I got the books I was missing. So book 2 is One Bite. This is a vampire retelling of Snow White. Book 4, Divine Scales. This is The Little Mermaid. And he is an angel, I believe, if I remember correctly. And then book 5, the last book in the series, is Beautiful Salvation. And he is an earth god, and it's Sleeping Beauty. And if you haven't heard it, I really love him. Let me just grab... I have the first 2 books right here. So the first book is Before Midnight, and it's Werewolves and Cinderella. Oh, so good. And then the third book is Golden Stair, and this is Rapunzel, and he's a demon. And this one was really good too. But yeah, so I got the rest of that series. I needed those other 3. And then she had a spin-off series, which is set in like the same world or something, but she called it The Blood Realm. So I needed books 2, which is Blue Voodoo. And I haven't read the spin-off series yet. So I'm thinking I'm going to pick it up, at least the first book, for Pharaoh Feb coming up here. And then book 3 is The Archer, which is so pretty. I'm excited to pick up this other one. And then book 4, which is Bear With Me. So I already had books 1 and 5. And I'm not sure which fairy tales those are specifically, but there's that. So then I have 2 more other ones. And then I finally got paperback copies of Elisa Braden's newer series, Midnight in Scotland. So I got Making of a Highlander. So historical, Taming of a Highlander. Oh, mine has a crease in it apparently. I didn't notice that before until the light hit it in the camera. And then her newest one, which came out in the end of December, The Temptation of a Highlander. I do have, it looks like 5 of her books from Rescued in Ruin, but I wasn't smart enough and I started collecting them in the old covers, and I didn't buy them before the cover switched. So I haven't bought any of them since then unless I can find them used, because I want to finish my collection of the original covers. Not that there's anything wrong with the new ones, but I want my collection to match. And then the last one is I got paperback copies because I had to of Elsie series, of Elsie Silver's Gold Rush Ranch series. Off to the Races won my Best Contemporary of 2021. Oh my God, this book, guys. Oh my gosh, this series. But oh my gosh, this book. Off to the Races, book 1. Oh, she just recently announced book 4. It's coming out March 18th, I think it was. And it's a late start, I think is the name of it. And she also released the blurb. I can't wait for the cover reveal. I'm so excited. And then this is book 1.5 out of the gate. And this is the grandfather for the heroes in book 1 and 2. And he created Gold Rush Ranch. Book 2, a photo finish. Oh, this is one of the owners. This is the other owner of Gold Rush Ranch and one of the jockeys. These books, oh, I love them. And then this is the newest release. It came out early December. The Front Runner, book number 3. And this is the veterinarian. And then the bad boy, Daka. And then book 4 is his younger sister, Nadia. And then his best friend, who's a grumpy recluse. And his name is Griffin. So we got another grumpy Griff. So there are all of those. Oh my God. And those are going front and center. I absolutely love them. I saw that Elsie Silver is now selling signed paperback copies in her shop. So I'm probably going to order at least Off to the Races and signed. But I kind of want to do what I'm doing with Stay a Spell and order the whole series signed too. So I have one copy of normal and one copy of signed. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But so there are those. We'll go through my mass market historicals real quick. And that'll be it. So we are almost done. So like I said, most of these I either found used on thrift books. I think all of these came from thrift books. I don't think I have any that aren't from thrift books this time. But so I finally found a copy of Amanda Ashley's Embrace the Night. It looks historical, but this is book 1 in her vampire duology. Pretty step back. And then Adele Ashworth, Winter Garden. This is book 2. And then this is book 4 in the Winter Garden, The Duke's Captive. And then it doesn't have it kind of has a step back. It's just the same cover. It's the same picture mirrored. And then I finally found a copy of Whispers on the Wind by Donna Fletcher. And it's got it's embossed kind of. And then also up along here. And this is I think a ghost romance. It's super intriguing. So I think I only need one more mass market Donna Fletcher and then my collection is complete outside of her indie published. And then I found Connie Mason's Flame. This is book 1 in her Flame set. And then Emma Merritt's Lord of Fire. This is book 1 in her Lord and Ladies. And then Margaret Moore, Kiss Me Again. And this is book 2 in her Kiss Me series. And I've been waiting for a good copy of this to pop up. And then I have a bunch of Karen Hawkins. I've been working on my Karen Hawkins collection. So I was able to find a bunch more. So we're going to start. I have the series in order. So we've got the Duchess Diaries. So this is book 1, How to Capture a Countess. Book 3, How to Entice an Enchantress. And then in her Oxenberg Princes, I found book 2, The Prince and I. And then book 3, Mad for Plaid. And then this is technically book 1 in the Made to Marry series. And this is Caught by the Scot, but there's only one book in this series. So I don't know if she's going to add to it or what's going on. And then I also found 3 of the books in the Talisman series. It's Talisman something. Talisman Ring series, I think. But so book 1, An Affair to Remember, with the back step back. And then book 3, How to Treat a Lady, also with a back step back. And then Lady in Red. This is book 5 in that series. And this has the step back. So that's it. Nice and simple. That's my first book haul. I don't know how many of them I'll do. As I get in books, I tend to, when I order, have an idea of what space I have in my shelf and what I need. So I only try to order. I get very particular about the books I ordered. But because I had a bunch of gift cards for Christmas, I know, I kind of went a little bit crazy. But like you saw, I bought a bunch of indie stuff that I've been really wanting. And then most of the thrift books, mass markets I got were free books that I needed to use before the end of the year. So there's that. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some fun books or some fun step backs or some books that might intrigue you. If you want to learn more about any of them, feel free to let me know. Hi, you're going to crawl on my lap? Cheese is ready. So it's 3:30, but she thinks because it's the weekend, it's dinner time apparently. Hi, can I help you? You're just going to purr? I know. All right. Well, I'm going to stop here before she distracts me too much further. Thank you for joining me for this book haul. And I am going to get to work putting all these back on my shelves, or at least fitting them into my shelves. I have some rearranging to do. But until then, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.